Yeah, I think there are a couple of stories that I have. I can quote two of them. I think these are very prominent stories, experiences really. So, couple of months back, there was a rock concert happening in Mumbai, and I was happened to be there. And this was a place which was packed with more than I think 1,500 people, with very very high security and very minimalistic carry along things that they'd allowed us because of various reasons. So in the outer periphery of this so-called rock concert stadium, there were some food and refreshment stalls that were put up. None of them were branded.
Okay.
All of them were regular run of the mill kind of stuff. So they were like coffee and sandwiches and those. Very interestingly, out of about 7 or 8 different stalls, there was one particular stall which was selling coffee and some sandwiches and Danish and all that, which had a very relatable circular green logo with a mermaid in the center. Although it did not say what it was, but it alluded to the fact that it is drawing a very major reference
To
to a certain
big coffee chain.
very very big global coffee brand. And when I saw it for the first time, you can call it out. It's not the brand that we all know we are talking about, and I don't want to name the brand for obvious reasons. But very interestingly, 5 out of 10 people walking into that parlor, so to speak, would tend to buy that over somebody which is not impersonating the coffee or the beverage. And I think that speaks volumes about consumer behavior, and how this whole deepfake industry is feeding over very very aggressive brand stands that global brands have created over millions of dollars and millions of resources, and of course years and years of practice. So that is one example. The other example may be slightly controversial, so a lot of people don't want to talk about certain product categories. But I think there is no harm in discussing. We are all mature people here. So the other industry that I to talk about is tobacco. So as a matter of fact, due to jobs, etc., we are often find ourselves traveling to tier 2, tier 3, sometimes even tier 4 markets. And no shame in admitting that I personally use tobacco, and as a matter of fact, we run out of certain quantities, and one had to go to a kirana store and buy some specific brand of tobacco. And the moment I consumed it, at that very moment I realized that this is not genuine. I rather should I say it is spurious. The next reaction, of course, was to throw it away. But there was a little bit of, you can say concern, or there was a little bit of, lack of trust, or you can say a little bit of, anger in me, saying that how can such a large tobacco brand, which is known for its distribution prowess, allow such a thing to happen even in a tier 4 market like this? Fact of the matter is, it's in your face. It is right where you want it or you don't want it. It hits you. Sometimes you don't even realize that it hits you. So we are all surrounded by deepfakes. I'm sure some of my friends will want to take slightly elevated examples of how it is happening on digital, but these are two real life examples. Fortunately for us, we have very very deep trust with practically all the brands that we distribute in the country. There are more than 300 brands in India, globally also, that we represent. Fact of the matter is that all of these large organizations have a very clear mandate around social listening. They have a very clear mandate around, very strong public relations reference point, and they keep a very, very nice touch with the key stakeholders, as Vinny pointed out, and I think it's so important. By the time it trickles down to us, I think 90% of, the reputation management is kind of taken care of. But I like to tell you by example, how this affects us as in Redington. So very recently we came across a case where there were certain cardboard boxes, corrugated boxes, which had products in them which unfortunately were not distributed by Redington, and they were lying around in some warehouse where there was a non-authorized channel partner was trying to sell it to some other channel partners in the ecosystem. The point of, and this is remarkable, the point of reference to make that product look very genuine was that on top of that corrugated box was a typical Redington sticker that talks about the kind of quantity serial number wise that exists in the pack. It was completely fake. And the moment it came to notice of one of our authorized channel partners, they obviously called us saying that, I am in possession of such and such quantity. Can you confirm whether this is genuine or not? And with a very simple 3D scan, we were able to identify that this was not genuine, right? But the thing is, we did not just brush over our hands over it. We obviously, first of all, told that respective channel partner to avoid engaging in commercial procurement of that particular stock, because we don't endorse it. But at the same time, going forward, we added certain layers in our stickers, which originally was created for mapping and transferring stock from my warehouse to other warehouses. But now we added a hologram, which was practically impossible to replicate. It does cost some money, but at the end of the day, it's our responsibility to the channel partner ecosystem, which by the way is my customer system. So I want to be true to my customer when they buy or when they come across a certain product package, which is Redington. I want them to have full faith in that product. So just to summarize, I think deepfake and some of these spurious activities have been happening for a fairly long time. On digital, it happens even more. I'll quote an example. So very recently, there was one digital entity which was posing in the market saying that I'm an authorized reseller of, or should I say broker for Redington stock, and he collected crores of rupees from investors in India and household investors in India on the name of Redington, and they did not deliver the promise, and this was highlighted to us. We fought a case with them. We also released several advisories in the market. We also mentioned it exclusively on our website and others. But the fact is that it's very sad. I mean, people did lose money. People did kind of get a dent in their understanding of Redington. But when they, at the end of the day, you have to come clean. You have to be able to present and talk in true value and honesty, saying, look, there are some things which are in our hands and some things which are not. So these are some of the ways in which we can actually mitigate.